The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, it's another episode of the Modern Jeeper Show with me, Matson from MetalCloak, and Mr. Modern Jeeper, Corey Osborne.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, and Rockstar Jeep Girl, Jessy.
What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So I heard you bought some shoes lately. Like, what'd you buy?
No, I didn't get to.
You didn't get to?
Okay, so I sent my kids, because they're the ultimate, girls. They think I'm quirky anyway with my dressing style. So I sent them the picture before I buy them because I was like, oh my God, I need these. They were like, you should have heard what my daughter said. She was like,
she said those are just bad, ugly.
In a nice way. She didn't say that, but
yeah, I don't know if our followers and our listeners out there have ever been to a Converse outlet store or a Converse store in general. I did not know this, but Converse shoes are unisex. Like on every box, there's a men's and women's size.
Yep.
Nice. So do you have a problem with that, Corey?
Well, some of
those shoes in there. If there are guys wearing those yellow, fancy, glittery high tops, well, more power to you.
Well, hormones don't change your foot size. They may change everything else, but they aren't going to change your foot size.
Yeah, it was.
There is a movie about that. There's a movie that's, I guess, it's like a docudrama, whatever. But it's a movie about the gal / guy or whatever who turned his family shoe company.
We need to refer to the gender neutral as they.
Yeah, as they. I'm sorry, they. So as they turned their store into primary. But no, it's like became like the way to do high heels for cross dressers, basically.
Interesting. Yeah,
it gave a lot of Achilles support, which I could say is actually an important thing.
Well, you know, it is. It's funny to be out of service for the good part of like 4+ days, and then come back into a place and drive into Pigeon Forge, where it is, of course, like this shopping mecca, huge tourist trap destination, and it's like it's a little bit of overload. Like, oh, I need stuff. I should get some stuff because we haven't had any stuff for 4.5 days.
I need stuff.
I don't know how they live out there with
anything other than one more gas station. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I drink so much when I'm on these shows. I think I should start like promoting what I'm drinking, right? Because I'm always got something.
Hey, those are good though. You gave us one of those.
Yeah, today is tea Java, and this is the tea Java with subtle peach. So it's a peach black tea.
Well,
subtle
because
flavoring.
of it being a lot later than it is in California.
And this is my favorite.
Country boy.
This is Country Boy Shotgun Wedding.
Shotgun Wedding.
So it's so good.
It's a brown ale with that's been flavored with vanilla beans.
It's super good.
Yeah.
And for a guy like you who likes his vanilla Coke with his, mixed with his alcohol infusion, it's perfect. Nice. That sounds good. With vanilla beans. Wow.
Yeah. And when it's 94 degrees and 90% humidity, it's all water.
Yeah. So what's it like inside your hotel room? Is the AC working well?
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's set at 69, and I don't think it'll ever stop. Ever.
You won't be one of those 3 o'clock in the morning like, oh my God, I finally got to turn it down.
Well, so I remember the first year we came to Pigeon Forge. Well, no, it wasn't the first year. I think it was the second year, and they had repaved the LeConte Center parking lot, and literally the asphalt gets so hot that the jacks from the CTI trailer buried themselves into the asphalt about 4 inches.
I remember that. Oh my gosh.
Yep. They were still out there a year ago.
Yeah, holes are still there.
Still, divots are still there.
Yeah,
you should have like signed it.
Oh, right.
So they gave us a new spot this year.
This year we are up above. They've moved a lot of stuff around. Of course, the show is getting bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a learning curve year. So obviously, Justin always tries to take care of the vendors the best he can. I did kind of freak out when we first got there and they parked me because we are on this
change.
Well, no.
We are in the upper lot above the convention center. There is now a new overpass that is basically a walkway into the convention center. It's also a huge parking lot.
I remember them talking about planning on building that to allow access. Okay. Yeah.
So that's all done, and they've actually moved the show and shine, and there's going to be 3 other vendors up there with us, and a DJ and whatnot. For traffic purposes, this is going to work a lot better. I'm hopefully our listeners, when they listen to this and they're coming out to the show, I think there's going to be a lot of people going, "Hey, we looked for you, we couldn't find you." Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion is also going to put out a post. Jesse's going to put out a post and make a map of where we're at so people know where we're at. It's going to be way easier to get to if you want to get on the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's a huge open parking lot. Parking is always an issue at this show. So I'm hoping that, they're working through this. And Justin, of course, obviously was like, whatever you need, we'll make sure we're funneling people up there. It's where the show and shine vehicles will be. There'll be 100 rigs up there in the show and shine. So people will gather up there. They'll see us. We're right in the front of that entire parking lot. So
don't have to go through all the vendors and all the people walking around.
So just look for all the MetalCloak flags and stuff when you get out there. Yeah, it'll be pretty obvious to see. And that's great too, because again, everybody was having to drive through the vendor.
It was a big safety issue.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you usually do? How many do you usually do out there?
It kind of depends. Every year we've also had interesting weather. So we've had some rainstorms in the middle of the show where we've actually kind of shut things down for a couple of hours in the middle of the day. But we usually get through 40-ish a day.
Wow.
And now that it's a 3-day show, this is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 to 5, 9 to 5. 9 to 5 every day.
Now, are you open 9 to 5 every day, or what are your hours for
well,
CTI?
We're going to be up there. I'm not sure with the heat how. It's going to be
don't blame
really
you.
Hot.
I don't blame you.
Just be patient with us because it's going to be hot.
It's going to be really warm.
Mhm.
We'll have plenty of support up there. So we'll have our guy.
We'll have everybody. No, Philip.
Yeah.
We'll have Curtis.
Philip will be out there. Curtis. John's on his way. He flies out tomorrow.
Jeremy Rowe is supposed to help. I mean,
Nice.
he'll be out there.
Yeah.
Talking to people. But
yeah. Which speak about that's tonight, right? Or tomorrow night?
No,
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's the concert.
And he'll actually be out at our booth on Thursday as well to sign some autographs and talk to folks for a little while. And so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Have him sign, have him fill out the number on the sheet and sign every one of the little stickers.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's not a bad
Put
idea.
him to work.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, we
Nice.
have enough support. We have tons of people, and I know some of the owners club people wanted to do the owner club tent, and I said, well, instead of shipping a tent to you guys, just come out, hang with us.
That's cool though that they wanted to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. On the flip side over here, we were looking forward to Cantina for the Con as being our next big event, Labor Day weekend. We didn't get to do it last year because of COVID, and the year before there were some problems actually doing it up there with camping restrictions and stuff. So they didn't do it last. So it's been a couple of years, and it was all planned to go. We were going to do it at Rob's Resort, but we have a massive fire now just south of 50 that has actually jumped 50, and I'm not sure the status of that is, but it's shut down now. The El Dorado National Forest, or that whole area is starting to shut down. So they said, okay, and Rob's Resort was basically informed, or they decided to cancel all reservations Labor Day weekend anyway. And so, as of last night, Cantina is canceled. Now we did offer up to them to come and do it at MetalCloak on Saturday of that weekend. We do a small event here, whatever, CTI trailer, all that kind of stuff. But to their understanding, most of the board members are dealing currently with having to evacuate, figure out where their animals are going, horses, all that kind of stuff. So they're a little preoccupied with trying to save their own lives, besides having to try to put together a fundraiser that weekend. So a lot of challenges up here, but that's unfortunate that event is. But for everybody who was planning on going to Cantina out here on the West Coast, in October, they're going to definitely do their event they did before out of the Dry Diggings distillery. And so that's coming up in October. My understanding is right now that's still on the plans. And that was a great event. We had the CTI trailer out there. It works really well. Everybody gets a chance to be out there, have fun, check out some of the great stuff at Dry Diggings up there in El Dorado Hills. So it's
Man,
unfortunate.
The fires, that's just such a devastating thing. And they just, there's nothing to help. The weather's not cooperating. There's just been no moisture. And then, of course, we get back here into the east, and they've had huge rainstorms, the hurricane remnants that went through out here, the Tennessee floodings, this once in a generational flooding that they just recently had, and 20 people have died so far. And
that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
The West Coast is burning up and the East Coast is flooding, which seems to be a thing every year anymore.
Well, and it's like I saw the floods first when all of a sudden it was Loretta Lynn's ranch. As all I saw was a picture of Loretta. I'm like, nah, that can't be. Like, oh my God, are you kidding me? How crazy?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's I don't know. I'm we're still winding off of Expedition 3. Our event we just got done doing with our friends at Milestar and Torque Masters and Skyjacker and Trail Pro. A shout out to those guys. I hadn't seen a couple of these guys in a long time. Trail Pro, which is also Trail Gear, Matt Messer and his group, a lot of Toyota products. Those guys were super busy. They're in Fresno. They came all the way out for that event.
Wow.
Lonnie McCurdy and his whole family from Skyjacker. A lot of those folks were at the event. And Cora and Eric, we got to spend some really cool day with them after the event and went out to dinner. And they're actually headed to
Colorado.
Yeah, they're headed to the Colorado Overland Expo in
Loveland.
In Loveland, this coming weekend. And I'm actually kind of bummed because I wish we could have. I still think the Overland events are going to be huge this year, and with all of our rack system stuff and a lot of our overlanding push, I think those are going to be some good shows. But hopefully, we'll get some feedback from them and see what those shows are like.
Yeah, definitely. I know we will have presence at the Flagstaff Overland Expo. Yes. We won't be there displaying, but we're going to have some of our primary people from the Adventure Rack System brand will be out there, kind of check things out, meet people, look at what's out there and offering, and just get product ideas, see what's going on. So it'll be kind of great to be out there. And I think we have one or two racks on rigs out there as well. So. But, and some of our other friends will be out there. Warren is going to be out there, and it really is a growing community. And,
it is. And it's, part of this expedition trip that we just did. Once again, it's kind of opened my eyes to a lot of land use, a lot of educational things that we just they don't cross our plates when we're out in the West. And of course, the East Coast deals with things a little bit differently. But I got to tell you, West Virginia, I mean, the fact that Mark Maynard, the West Virginia senator, he was with us and camped with us for all 3 nights.
In a K5 Blazer.
In a K5 Blazer with no top.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the fact that these guys got people together that it would have been very hard for us to do something like this in the West, because you can't get a state forest park service superintendent and administrators and a naturalist and a biologist and all of these people who are also a little bit their tendency is to be against off-road travel. Of course, these are wilderness type people who are like, the off-road guys, they just tear stuff up. these people came to the table and working with their senator are all really wanting to embrace the off-road community and understand us. So
Wow.
yeah, it was just an amazing thing to spend time in some of their state parks with these people who are going, hey, you guys are actually all right. And us being able to ask them questions about, hey, what can we be doing different? And really, it comes down to education. And we so fail. We think as off-roaders we're doing an okay job. We're not. And we know that the ATV guys, that's a whole different group, and those guys are uneducated anyway. So
You heard it here first.
So I think that it's cool to see if West Virginia can kind of lead the way. And Senator Maynard was very clear. If any of us in the group need help, support at that level, he'd be happy to write letters on his letterhead, help us approach organizations that would not normally allow a bunch of off-road use, and to just speak on our behalf as kind of a, hey, these guys, they take care of the land. They're not out there. We're good stewards. We're doing the best to spread the education. So yeah, it was, I didn't know what to expect. And we got out there and we thought we're going to be camping and wheeling. And it was such an educational 3 days. And you didn't even know it. You were just getting educated the whole time.
Wow. Shut up and get educated.
Yeah. That's right.
Wow, that's awesome. How clever is that? That's great. I mean, there's definitely that you start getting out to these other states that have senators, and it's like California. California has such a massive political infrastructure that it's just you don't even get a chance.
We talked about that. I'm like, we'd never be able to reach anybody, and even in Colorado, we couldn't even. We'd spend 6 months trying to reach a person, probably.
Right. Yeah, because everybody, it is. It's just, it's all about the power out here. Out there, it's like, I'm actually serving people. I remember years ago, I worked for a company called eRepublic, and I had to. We were doing a conference, and I had to call a state assemblyman's office, and I think it was North Carolina. It was a North Carolina Intergovernmental Summit on I think it was a security and infrastructure or something like that. And I called over there, talked to him, and I was talking to him about what because he was one of our speakers, one of our sponsors. And I said, I'm going to send it over. Just have your staff do this and fill this out and send it back to me. And he laughed. Now, out here in California, I don't care where you are and how small of an office are, you got at least 3 staffers. You got your chief of staff, you got your legislative aide, and you got an assistant, right? That's standard. Like, it's part of your budget. Like, he has a person comes in once a week to maybe open his mail. Like, that was the extent of it. There's no staff. There wasn't support. It wasn't all this other. I was blown away by it. Right? It's a mind change when you realize that not every place is California with all this bureaucracy and garbage and expense and stuff.
Yeah, to be standing in a men's urinal and the senator next to you asks, "So what do you do again?" There's something to be said for a real passion for a politician. I never felt the whole time that we were ever with a politician. No. He was genuinely interested in helping West Virginia grow their tourism and bring the off-road industry into there. And there's some amazing places and amazing parks. And Jesse brought this up. Out of everywhere we've been, West Virginia felt like it was normal. It is the first normal state. There's not a lot of people. There's not 100 people at the campground. People they're working, they're doing their jobs, they're going about their business.
They're growing their own food. It's like back when we were kids. That had that feel where kids are playing in the creek and there's not cell phone service. It just felt like
there's not cell phone service.
Crowded. There wasn't a ton of people. Everybody was nice. They didn't have "don't come near me," attitude, and it felt really good to be there.
We stayed at a hotel the first night in Snowshoe, and I believe that hotel has like 235 rooms. We stayed there before we came towards Pigeon Forge. There was like 3 of 3 rooms occupied, I think.
Well, it's off season.
Well,
too,
now that
so.
everybody's listening to the Modern Jeeper Show, it's got to get packed. and
That's
full.
right.
Be
Go
prepared,
to
West
Snowshoe.
Virginia. Be prepared. We're sorry we brought out the secret.
Yeah, go to Snowshoe.
Yeah,
Go.
the people,
Yeah.
their camaraderie, their way of life. The people that catered were some of our guides' family. They came out in a big van with cooking and did some home style West Virginia cooking for us. That was amazing.
Rabbit,
Wow.
Rabbit,
venison,
venison,
Wow.
all
Yeah,
kinds.
Jerry
yeah.
Bain and his brother. Jerry Bain was
And
kind of
John.
the originator who put a lot of this stuff together. And you know, our buddy Curtis has always said, of course, Curtis lives out here. He's always said, you guys gotta come to West Virginia.
We're
And
like,
we're like,
but-
You
yeah,
kind of laughed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm, uh-huh.
been there, driven through it. That's
Very
fine.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
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 We're going to more
Turns out they
important
also have a
places.
good trailers part supply
Yes, they
place
do.
too.
Oh Lord, here we go.
The trailer stories. You and the trailer stories. You think after 200,000 miles, you could keep driving it without breaking anything.
This year, yeah.
Oh
Hey, we
my
got
gosh.
the tire and the wheel this time, though.
Yeah.
You
That was
you
the
saved it.
Saved it.
Well, the wheel is toast.
So I actually, it was kind of interesting because I heard this vibration, and when I pulled off at the exit and stopped at the stop sign at the top of the ramp, all of a sudden the tire just starts creeping up by the truck. So I pulled out in the intersection, and I
And it
kind of
stopped it.
I cut it off.
Yeah, that happened.
But it was cool. There was a car behind me.
That's
I
the-
just ran
that's-
out real quick and threw it on the trailer and pretend, oh, this happens all the time.
You just drive along. They're like, is that a
Look,
tire?
Look,
That's our
that's
tire. We'll
That's
pull
our
over.
trailer tire. That's weird.
Until we parked at the gas station, he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get the text message with the image. I'm like, oh, great.
So I think there is a life. I'm just going to throw it out there. I know it's not technical. There's a life expectancy for wheel studs. I'm just going to go with it. It seems to be about 7 years because this is now the third. It's always been a different hub assembly, all different wheel studs. We've had these. Matson and I had a conversation about the aluminum wheels, and Raceline has not been the failure part. That hasn't been a tire issue at all. These wheel studs, it's the wheel studs. I've even thought about lug nuts. We talked torque specs. I don't know. Shout out to Derek, who also Curtis made a phone call, and another good buddy came up, and he
we were right down
brought
the road
his
from
torque
him.
wrench and was offering some help if we needed it. But we ended up buying a couple of new hub assemblies and getting one of them swapped out. Of course, it was the surface of the sun in this parking lot. I have the other hub assembly. I'll change out the other side, and
Call it
you know,
good.
7 years from
Wow.
now,
No more, please. No more.
What was the store you bought these from? You give them a
this
shout out.
Tri-County Trailers in that
Yeah,
town
that
up
town.
there, just off of this before the 77 and the 64.
It's right after the biggest or the tallest. Am I saying it right? The tallest bridge in
for
North
the-
America.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
However
Wow.
many feet.
The highest spanning
And
bridge.
then he was
Highest,
telling us about
yeah.
the people wanting to jump off the bridge and go splat. So
That's
that
right.
was awesome.
Wow. You know, that's a good.
Yeah,
Everybody has a
Tri-County
bucket
trailer.
list, right?
Right.
Yes.
I'm
Jumping off a giant bridge.
Sure. Why not? Go splat.
To the rocks.
It's it'd be the
One and
last.
done.
That'd be the last bucket list item.
Well, you know, if you're going to end in a splat.
Splat.
End in a splat.
I just remember what Derek said, and I was like, "Oh my god, it looks
That's-
like a pan of lasagna." I was like, "That's great, thanks for that visual."
Wow. That is quite
Mhm.
visual. A pan. It looks like a pan
Yeah.
of lasagna. You know, lasagna is my favorite food. So that's interesting.
It is.
It is. It's my favorite food.
So next time you see somebody jump off a bridge, bring a fork.
Ew! Stop it.
a pitchfork, scoop it up.
Something. Maybe a spoon would be better.
And in this episode of Modern Jeeper Cooks,
We're- Oh.
man alive. So wow. So I don't even know where to go
Jeep,
from there.
yeah, Jeep stuff. So we did actually do some wheeling. West Virginia does have some pretty incredible little shelf roads. I'm saying little shelf roads because they're narrow, and even some of them are paved. But the altitude. So the highest, we were near the highest point, about 4,500 feet in West Virginia, which doesn't seem like a lot of altitude unless you consider that most of the time you're driving around at 2,000 feet. So
Really?
and in lower, like I think the bottom of Snowshoe was like 500 feet or something.
Yeah.
But
wow.
so the vertical incline of a lot of these mountains, I mean, they have skiing and stuff up there, and the sheer drop on these shelf roads can be 1,000 to 1,500 feet off the side of these little narrow shelf roads.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some shelf roads around there that give Colorado a run for its money. So
Wow. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
shelf roads. I've come to decide that. I don't, I will go on them, and there's nothing to stop me from going on them, but I don't mean I have to like them. I'll eat my
Right.
vegetables, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. I just don't.
Right. Yeah, and I did real quick. I know we have a different item for the final tech tip, but I wanted to show folks
we have all
the,
kinds of items.
The element.
the element
Oh, yes, that we talked about.
Fire
extinguisher. So it really is pretty tiny. They do run for about
80
fi-
bucks.
50 minutes. But literally it comes in this nice little, plastic deal.
50,
It's got a lot of
50 seconds, right?
50 seconds, yeah.
It's A, B, and C.
And it's super easy. Like there's your instructions.
Yeah.
Take the cap off,
It's
smack
like
the
a
cap.
flare.
It's like a flare.
Flare.
It even has a mounting bracket.
Oh, wow. And I
So
think
you can
the
actually-
bottom one has like the lighter. Is that the bottom one has the lighter on it?
Yeah,
the top-
well, it's a cap.
the-
So you just pull the cap off here.
Yeah. And then the
Um,
bottom has a striker, I think.
I think it's a striker. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
Yes.
the-
So there's
yeah,
a striker.
Yeah, you turn that over and
you
basically strike it. Yeah.
Show us.
No.
It's not a
Okay,
cute little
fine.
tube.
Sorry, we can't do it.
Pretty-
We're not going to be that channel. We're not going to be that. Hey guys, what happens if we strike an element in a hotel room?
Right.
Let's see.
I mean, if they would have sent me this for free or something. No, we actually bought this, so I'm gonna throw it in the Jeep and go light your Jeep on fire if I'm with you, and we'll see if it'll put it out.
Yeah, so Element, if you're listening to this, we're happy to take a few and show them off. But yeah, they're like 75, 80
Yes.
bucks a piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
much lighter,
But
so much
super.
more convenient, easy to hold. And that's the mid, right? There's like two different sizes or something. Or
Yeah,
that's a small.
this is their small one.
Well, and you don't have a big tank rolling around or
Oh, yeah.
slapping
Right.
you in the back of the head. if
And-
it happens.
Right.
Yeah,
Hitting on the
Jay
top of the head of
Leno-
the race car. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Jay Leno actually liked it because there's no residue. So like a regular extinguisher that's chemical in nature, it leaves all that white powder and you can't clean it up. This has no residue.
So what is it actually using to put out the fire? If it's not putting out some
Stuff.
sort of
Stuff.
Fire retardant,
We haven't
Magic.
gotten that.
it's magic.
magic.
It's magic.
Magic.
It
What is the
talked about it.
distance? I mean,
Oh,
like,
it's
flare
about
is like
on there.
a flare is like you get a flare comes out about 6 inches. How close do you have to be to the fire?
Not very far. I mean, this actually, you can just stick it under the hood of your engine or something like that,
You can put it
and you
right
can
up on the
because you
fire.
can hold it the whole time it's burning.
Well, can you just light it? Well, I know, but fires are hot. I don't want to stand like 4 inches from the fire if I'm holding this
Oh,
thing.
I see what you're saying. No, I don't know how much how much of a throw.
mean,
it
come on.
was.
Like, I gotta,
It's even rated for K. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
well, I'd be
yeah.
interested
A,
to
B,
see if
C, and K.
I want
Cooking
to
oil
send
and
a
grease
message
fires.
to Dave Cole and see if it's race legal. I mean, it covers everything, so it
They
should be.
they were talking about it on some other video I watched and whether or not it would be used. But see, those I think you'd have to have an automatic extinguishing system. I mean, you could definitely carry one of these as well.
Mhm.
But like a halon system is going to
They still require a halon system or whatever. in those,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I mean, how great is that?
I'm sure it
Usually-
says on here what the propellant is, and I can't remember the guy
Need
that from
magnifying
Element, the actual Jay Leno's video.
Mhm.
The guy who designed this was on the video with him,
Oh wow,
and talks about the propellant used and all that
it's all
kind
the
of
good
chemical.
guests.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can't even get a single. Yeah, just us.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's
I'm guessing Jay didn't have
what
to pay for his either.
right. Well, and now something to know. I mean, you can actually go in and check what the chemical is by what the registered chemicals are. Right.
Right.
So, because every product out there, your listeners
Has
probably
to
know,
have
whatever
a data
has to
sheet
have
on it.
exactly, and which is that LA is totally awesome. Like if you buy LA is totally awesome, which you don't want to use on anything, do not use it on MetalCloak Gold control arms because it will eat it right off.
It'll eat it right
It
off.
has no ingredients on the bottle.
Here, there's some small writing on there. I'll put that up there, and you guys can read that.
It says it discharges gas and is totally clean.
It discharges gas.
I discharge gas and I'm totally clean.
No, that's
Totally
what I
clean.
say.
I wouldn't put you
I'm
near a fire,
discharging
though.
gas right now, and you don't even know it. See,
Thanks for that information.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Smell you later.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There's some stuff that she pulled up on her phone that tells me about it, but I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see it.
And I can't see it very well either.
Well, see, what'd be really cool is when I do this, and I just go, "Here, have my glasses."
Oh,
And
that
then
helps.
Then you grab. See, there you go.
Can I see through those?
There you go.
That's,
So that
that's
works.
not helping. No.
No, it's not, that doesn't work. This would be like a perfect TikTok video though. So I'd hand you the glasses, and
Right,
then,
and I'd
then
take
you would
them.
grab them.
Oh wait, I could do that. My glasses are over there in that case. in my man purse.
Your man purse.
Yes.
Nice.
They're in my backpack then. It's at the front top. Look at that. Okay, we can play that game right now. See, here we go.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay, you go ahead.
Hey, here. No
Let me use
problem,
your
Corey.
glasses. Do you have some reading glasses?
Use mine.
Oh,
here
thank
we go.
you.
There you go. Hey, wait.
Those look a little different than yours.
Yeah, I think they did that distance from here to there helped them out. Straighten them up.
Straighten them up. Right.
Straighten them up. So that's
how
awesome.
How are sales at MetalCloak World Headquarters? What's going on out there?
Life's
You guys
good.
busy?
Life's good out here. We have good people. We have good things. I mean, can't complain.
Cool.
You know, we supply chain issues like everybody else has, and
Sure.
we're just dealing with that. But for the most part, it's maybe 1 or 2 items out of 1,000. So
Nice.
you can't complain. Most stuff's going out.
Even
guys-
even in West Virginia and in Virginia, we still run across a lot of shops and a lot of folks that are, everybody's, people are working out here, but there's still issues with, getting stuff that they need as far as foods and all of that.
I haven't seen a whole lot of hiring signs out here in Pigeon Forge. I have to say that.
No, not so much.
Interesting. Yeah, you see it a lot out here. Like guys just don't want to work, right? And there's plenty of jobs available.
Right.
Plenty of jobs. We're in California, though. California. You're just supposed to be able to just hang out and get your unemployment. And between your federal monies and your California monies, you can hang out on the beach, travel the country, go to West
I
Virginia.
wonder if it's a matter of a red or a blue state.
Well, I know there are some red states out there that are saying, we don't want that federal money anymore. We don't want that booster, right? We want our people to be able to be happy because I'm sorry, but happiness comes from production. Production makes you happy. Doing things make you happy. Just going out and twiddling your thumbs and maybe traveling and stuff makes you happy, but you're getting free money to do that and you're not really actually producing anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the long-term effects that we want.
Hey,
By the way,
have you seen did a full-size Bronco come into the shop?
it did. And a 2-door came in today.
We
saw one today.
we got passed by it was a 4-door though, wasn't it?
It was a 4-door and they were waving and
Oh yeah, they waved and gave us a thumbs up as they drove by the trailer.
So it's interesting statistics I was looking at today about purchases because we're trying to figure out like what was the breakdown of all those pre-orders and purchases that are out there. So Bronco 6G kind of surveyed their community to see, and that Bronco 6G is the big forum, kind of like Jail Wrangler Forum and the Jeep Gladiator Forum. Bronco 6G is a variation of the same. It might even be the same group, like as you look, very familiar layout, very familiar thing, but that's the Bronco group. So they did a survey and it was 30%, 31% did 2-doors, So, and the other 69% did 4-door. So it was actually good because that's a big group of 2-doors. And 30% of those surveyed were previous Wrangler owners or previous or current Wrangler owners. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But we have a, and it's interesting because we do have the full size Bronco and we have a 2-door. They're both base models, but one has a Sasquatch package on it.
Gotcha.
Primary difference. Okay. So if you buy a base model Jeep, it's the bottom of the barrel base model Jeep. Okay. It still has a skid plate on its gas tank.
Right.
If you buy a base model Jeep Bronco, it's straight plastic. You can just take a fork and stab it right into the gas tank.
Wow.
You have to pay for the Sasquatch package to get a skid plate.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but a base model just has, hey, right there, that's a plastic gas tank. I could just stick a knife in.
Wow, that'll be interesting.
Also has plastic oil pan, plastic transmission pan. Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of uses for undercloak skid systems out there to save people from their own stupidity.
Well, and I know that there's the 2 engine options. There's the 2.4, the 2.7, something like that.
Yeah, some engine options, package options. There's like 7 different possible package options if you look at it. Ours we ordered was a Badlands edition with the premium package and the Sasquatch package. So the luxury Badlands edition with all of the Sasquatch on it. So, but we just changed our order from hard top to soft top in order to be able to get it sooner.
Yeah. The one that passed us was a soft top. It looked good. It was kind of a dark blue.
Yeah.
It was really cool to actually,
see
one driving next to us. And then those guys were excited because, of course, they definitely were Jeep people too. And,
yeah.
To get some of that little bit of recognition, like a Jeep Wave thing was I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's cool. And I think they're trying to be part of the same community, and it's awesome. In fact, we've been talking about what to do around here and what we're really going to be building. And of course, we'll do undercloaks for it. We'll do control arms for it, figure out suspension. We're not going to dive in and try to like reinvent the suspension system, right? Because it's IFS and it's really an effective suspension system, but figure out with a budget boost, that sort of thing. Rockers, bumpers, the basic things. It's really incredibly easy to take fenders, like those little fender flares that are on there, the little fender flares.
Mm-hmm.
Ford actually built in little twisties. You twist, and pop them off in a matter of seconds. You don't have to sit there and try to pop them off and maybe break them, and then you just twist, they come pop off. So I guess, if you're out on the trail, you could just instantly remove them and take them off and not scrap them up when you're out there wheeling the trail if you wanted to narrow down a little bit. Or it's going to be real easy to replace those. The fenders themselves are easy to replace. One of my engineers actually started diving into it, started designing a replacement fender system. Like, whoa, we're not going there yet. We're not going
there yet.
Excited. That's funny.
Yeah, but the possibilities are really there. And it's a very basic vehicle. And I don't know this, I can't confirm this, but and looking at things like the rear axle, right? There's a lot of similarities to it and say the Mustang rear axle. It's like Ford did what they do well. We're going to manufacture this thing. We're going to do these base pieces. We're going to find ways to put all the stuff together to build this new rig.
Yeah.
Right.
And not have to reinvent the wheel. And yes.
Yeah, we're not exactly. So I think people are gonna be excited. They're gonna have fun with it. We got a lot to do before we're actually out with market, but that's what this week is all about, going through and seeing what we can do with the 2-door and the 4-door, getting all as much information as we can. I will say the CTI score for all of our listeners who are interested in that, the CTI score on the base 4-door, 375. Right?
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a whole lot of suspension travel, but
no.
IFS vehicles typically I've never felt like the CTI testing that we do is favorable to a CTI type of vehicle, just because the way the vehicle, it kind of, the IFS handles very odd on the trailer. So, but still, that's not a high number. Not a lot of twisting up going on there.
No, and you got to think about the fact that it has the rear control arms are incredibly beefy. I mean, literally, when we do rear control arms for it, we're going to use the Dodge size joints.
Oh, wow.
They're already that
Interesting.
beefy. So you're not going to get a lot of forced misalignment just from like the CTI trailer, right?
Right.
Versus a JK or whatever in the smaller joints. You in the front with the IFS, of course, like you said, you got the limitations of the IFS. Well, unless you have like the Badlands edition or one, there's only like one or two editions that has the disconnect sway bar system, right? Otherwise, you got this big massive sway bar that doesn't disconnect and is sitting there in the front to help with the IFS. So, but it has some other weird features. For instance, see if I can describe this. Imagine looking at your front wheel well. Okay, and you're looking right at the IFS, the tire's off, and you're looking at it. And then as your rear wheel comes down back to where you normally would start your rockers, there's just a big square tube sitting there doing nothing. Like it has a little receiver, there's a couple of bolts, and it's a square tube sitting out doing nothing. It has nothing in it. It's just like sitting there. It's like it's expecting you to like, what do you want to do? Put my finger? I mean, it's a 2-inch square tube. And if you looked in the front, there's the same kind of system right in the front. That one is kind of connected to the front bumper, but it's in the front. And looking at it and our analysis of it, they're like crash tubes. The only reason they're there is to keep the tire from, if there's a crash, from going like all the way one way forward or all the way back into your body. But it's just this odd little tube coming out of the frame. The frame itself has a fixture that has the 2 bolt holes in it. And then there's just this little 2-inch tube slid inside that hole in that receiver, almost like your rear hitch receiver. And it's bolted down and it just sits there. It's not capped. It's got a big hole, captures mud. I mean, it's just kind of a weird thing. Now, this is on a base model. Maybe on a Badlands it's different, but on that base model, it's just sitting there. Very odd. Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
well, I know that. I mean, even without a lot of flex, I mean, we were surprised at the variety of the rigs that were on XPDN 3. Hashtag, if you guys, our listeners, want to look at pictures and videos that'll be coming out from this last weekend stuff, hashtag XPDN 3. But we had a Subaru with us. We had the K5 Blazer. We had a Comanche. We had
S10.
The
K5 Blazer.
The van. We had the Chevy van with us.
Forerunners.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, and it was
what a great eclectic group.
It was very.
Core and Eric built lockers for
the
Subaru Forester.
Yeah, they bought a torque. They built a Torque Master locker for the rear of a Subaru Forester.
Wow.
So it worked very well.
It's smaller than my fist. It's really kind of
sizes and everything,
right?
Size and everything. So what did Lonnie and the crew come out with? What were they?
The Hellcat
Gladiator and
nice.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, great people. Well, that's awesome. Hey, I do want to give a shout out before I forget, because there was a comment on last week's episode from a guy named Big Mitch. And it was kind of funny. I read this and I went, are you kidding me? Because he says, wish I had gotten to meet you, Matson, but I'm glad I got to hold the door open for you the other morning at your office. I'm very excited to pick my build up from Cloakworks either tomorrow or Friday. Thank you for all you can do. So every morning since I've been like taking the crutches in and stuff, I Uber in to work, right? And I've been Ubering into work, and then I either get picked up from my wife or I get a ride home from one of my team members here, right? So, and up until what I'm going to show you, I started using what I'm going to show you here in the tech tip. I've been using the crutches. Well, the crutches are just, you get out and it's like, I've got my laptop bag ahead of me, and it's just, you kind of go forward. And I was getting out, and a guy who happened to be out in the parking lot came over and opened the door for me, and I thanked him and stuff and went inside and appreciated it and stuff. It turns out this is Big Mitch, and he's like, I'm like feeling like so bad, like that I didn't get a chance to have a conversation, and I went to my office and stuff, but I was like, And so I read this. So Big Mitch, hey, if you come by and say hi, just come over to my office. I'd love to talk to you. Love to meet you. But yeah, thanks for
That's
posting
cool.
that. And thank you so much for opening the door, because it wasn't necessary, but I remember seeing him. He was like on the other side of the parking lot. So, and by the time I got over there, because it's not like I was looking over, hey, give me help. I'm just trying to get across to get to the front door. All of a sudden, this guy's there and asked to open the door. I'm like, great, thank you, appreciate it, and then moved on. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
but
That's awesome.
to not get a chance. So if I felt bad, but hey, come on by the office and get a chance to do things. Oh, hey, look, it looked like the camera moved a little bit, and
did you guys have an earththing all of a sudden or something?
I don't know, but the camera moved, and there's Will.
I know. I'm gonna text him and go tell him to wave.
No, because you'll do something other silly and foolish.
Yeah, that's weird. We've all heard that saying that hire the handicap because they're fun to watch. But it's I tell you, when I had knee surgery, when I had back surgery, that kind of stuff, I really got a taste for what it's like to try and be mobile in a lot of places. And
right.
I was blown away because when I had it was knee surgery, I went to SEMA like, I don't know, 2 weeks after my knee surgery, and I was blown away by how friendly and how nice and how helpful people were. And I, I tell you, to be handicapped long term, wow, people have to really endure a lot of things that I don't know that I could do long term.
Well, and that's why every time somebody comes up to me and says, "How's your leg?" I'm like, "It's nothing. It's an inconvenience, right?
Right.
It's not. I can endure this inconvenience. I'm never going to be down on myself about it, because I've worked with people that are, have lost both of their legs. And I think we mentioned it last week, but this whole thing, again, God bless all of those out there who gave so much to help Afghanistan and the people of Afghanistan. And I've heard it said before, but man, if you need to talk, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to anybody who's just struggling right now with the outcome, because so many who gave so much are feeling like their lives were like everything they did wasn't worth anything.
Right.
And it was, because even if you touched one person's life and made that person's life better,
that's right.
Yeah, that's what it's about, right? And just hopefully that helped. And we'll get through this. And there's going to be a solution at some point that makes it better for everybody. And hopefully, it all works in our benefit. But again, if you need to reach out, I'm here. Just reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. And because it is a shame. But anyway, guys that have lost their limbs, I'm like, dude, I've got a cast on. It's nothing, right?
Right. So let's see. We got to see.
Okay, you got to see my latest tool. Yeah. So I've been when this whole thing happened, of course, I got the standard crutches that they give you at every hospital, right? That tear up your underarms. And so I went and bought pads for that. And then I started searching for other crutch options. And so I have these other high-tech crutches that you actually just use more like you're using your the underarm. They sit here, right? And I've used those, and they're still work. It's still work, and they've got good handles on them, and you actually grab them and handle like this, and you move, but it's all upper body strength and all this, and it's still a pain in the butt. Well, I finally got my iWalk, and the iWalk, it's a peg leg. So you sit there, the knee goes right here, you strap yourself in. This goes all the way up. It goes right pretty much into the groin. Strap yourself in, a couple other straps really quick. It's 3 seconds to unstrap, maybe 10 seconds to strap back in and get it all tightened. And then you walk around with
it's just basically got a small foot on the bottom.
It does. It's a Vibram sole. So it's a sticky Vibram sole. It's great, but it has a small foot. It can go left or right, and just depending on what direction you put this pad, you have to left or right foot. And the only thing you got to remember is to actually lift up your leg. Don't try to drag your shoes like I drag my feet a lot. I don't lift all the time. And you catch it, you'll go, whoa. And the only time I've been using it since Sunday. I had it last week. I started playing with it, but since Sunday, I've actually been using it. And it's replaced my crutches. I mean, like I'll put it on in the morning. I'll walk down my stairs. I'll go out, wait for the Uber to show up, hop in the car, take it off, throw it in there. Uber, picks me up, drops me off here, 10 seconds, throw it back on, walk into the office, go and set it down. because it uses straps and compression to hold it in. I don't like having it on long term because it's still strapping the hard cast down onto there, and it doesn't feel as good versus just using a knee scooter around the shop. But it's like,
that's really cool.
Yeah. I barbecued. I went out of the backyard and was barbecuing last night. And, of course, I'm still showing my wife that I'm in pain and I need to sit and raise my leg up. I don't want her to know I have total freedom. But
right. She doesn't watch the podcast, of course.
Yeah, she doesn't. She's not a fan, apparently. She likes you. She doesn't want to listen to me. She listens to me all the time. But yeah, it's awesome.
That's really awesome.
It's called an iWalk. This is the iWalk 3.0. And I'm just, it's a game changer. So, God bless the guy.
How long do you, I'm sorry, how long do you have to have that then? What's your next stage?
So this Friday, they take off this cast and they put on a new cast. And the process is to, and for our listeners, you can see, you got to flatten the foot out and go to that 90 degree, right? So I'm probably at about, I don't know, whatever that is, 20 degrees right now, whatever that happen is. And they got to push it until I'm at that 0 degree point. Now, when that happens, then they run the cast again. So I'm probably gonna have another cast for 2 weeks, then come back and then go to a boot. And then from the boot, go to physical therapy and all that. So
gotcha.
I'm assuming it's a walking boot. I don't know what the real plans are, but it's step by step. I think I have a lot of movement. Like I'm constantly moving my toes and I kind of do exercises where I'm like, right now I'm pulling up against the cast and then I'll push down, which is the hard part, against the cast and pull up. And I do that all the time just to try to make sure I'm moving it and not just sitting there and letting it stagnate. But so I probably have another month. That's why I started buying toys. I've got the knobby tire scooter at home for going outside with the boys around the block. I've got the iWalk now, so I can walk around the house and
so probably still like another month.
Yeah, I did have one of the guys find me a Lark at the local thrift store, but then decided not to get it.
What's a Lark?
The Lark? Oh, the Lark was like the original little scooter, right? Little single tire in the front, 2 in the back, battery powered, mainly for fat people who were too lazy to walk down the street.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And yes, I'm saying that with all sincerity because that's usually what you see. But that was the Lark. So Rob found one at the thrift store and texted me like, nah, I'm okay. I'm good.
Not yet.
So how was Josh's first day of kindergarten?
It was fantastic. He enjoyed it. He had a great time. Although the idiots out there in the world that do exist, I got a message this morning from them that somebody had gone through and vandalized the school the night before, spray painting it with going around again. And then then they sent the next email out was, here's a picture of the vandal, by the way. Had his mask on, but we'll spread that far and wide. And
pretty cool dude to vandalize a kindergarten,
right? To go through and like spray windows and spray doors because yeah, exactly. And as far as I know, it was just like markings and stuff. I don't think it was anything derogatory. At least they didn't tell us, But they don't tell parents everything. People are dumb.
People are dumb.
People are dumb. Not Jeep owners though. Jeep owners.
No.
And we'll determine, it has yet to be determined if Bronco owners are dumb or not, but we know Jeep owners are not dumb.
Yeah, we had to clarify that.
Ram truck owners are not dumb. Chrysler minivan owners are not dumb.
Well, we are excited for this week. I mean, it's going to be a huge show. It's going to be really hot out here. We have a bunch of people are actually going to Windrock after this. There's a special thing going on, Wheeling with Warn, and it's Fred Perry and Rick Payway are going to be up there.
Nice.
Chris Durham, a bunch of his guys. So after we leave here, we'll try to go up there and at least say hi. Hopefully we get to wheel for a day. But I tell you, spending 3.5 days in the Jeep, in the LJ, and overlanding in the LJ, and sitting in the LJ, and for 3.5 days that I mentioned, it was 3.5 days camping in the LJ
with media,
with lots of media people, and in the LJ for 3.5 days. Did I already say that?
You did. You're not
yeah.
complaining, are you?
No, but I tell you, I'm ready to, shout out to our friends at Camprite, because we had our chairs and stuff, and that made things a lot nicer. But the LJ just doesn't have a lot of space.
Yeah.
And we covered a significant amount of miles. My back's a little sore, which I was surprised.
We did a lot of hiking.
We did a lot of hiking. There was one point where we hiked about 3 miles up into Seneca Rocks.
Wow.
And,
oh my Lord.
Yeah, that was. I was worried
toast.
we weren't gonna be able to walk the next day, but
Wow.
this whole exercise and being outside thing, I don't know.
Well, you're glowing, so it must have been good.
It's because that's sweat.
Yeah.
I say glow, you say sweat. I say happiness, you say what?
Well, you have got to make sure you're healed up, because
do.
we have a couple of Death Valley trips coming up in November
Yes, sir.
that you have got to be well for.
That's right. I know that's a big
Yeah.
thing, especially we're going to have a lot of ARS stuff going on with that. We're going to have a lot of good
Yeah.
times. I know. I mean, I'm going to miss Colorado, which, by the way, guys, there's a few
It's
more
still
spots
open.
left. It's still open.
Yep.
Registration's still open for Colorado, end of September. And
We got to get on, and I got to go through a ton of emails while we've got service back, and make sure that folks are aware of that event, and make sure it gets out there. So, yep, we still have spaces open. I know that for sure.
We got the Skills Day coming up October 16th, and that registration is actually live right now, but I need to promote it out there. We've got all kinds of good stuff. 392 kits went live yesterday. So we have 4 kits for the 392 that are live. So, these are 392 specific kits, guys. So, and we have 392 skid plates coming out soon, which includes a skid plate for the muffler, because we know you want to protect that low-hanging fruit.
And that's a significant piece of equipment with the turnouts on it and all that. So
yeah, exactly. So we got there's a lot going on. But between that, so I mean, you got to look at it. We got end of September, we've got the Colorado trip. October 16th, we got Skills Day. December, right? It's December is Death Valley trips, right?
November. September is Death. No, we've got Colorado trips. And then we've got
Rim Rocker, Colorado, Moab, more Colorado.
Yeah, you guys got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Hump and Bump before SEMA. After SEMA, right after SEMA, we have the 2 Death Valley trips.
Okay, so that's okay.
And then in December, I'm not sure.
I got classes to do. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and we may make a trip down to Arizona, see some of our friends down there, do an open house or something like that. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, there's always stuff. Lots of stuff. Yes.
Always stuff. Lots of stuff.
Which is good.
I already have people talking to me about next year. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Start planning now.
Yeah.
Start planning now. There we go. All right. Well, we will have Death Valley will be live in the next 24 hours for those that want to be a part of it. It'll be 2 trips. It's going to be very limited, like it usually is. So, but this is a great time of year. What's it like? What's it like in November in Death Valley?
Perfect.
I'm hoping. I mean, so we all know what SEMA is usually like during the first week of November in Las Vegas. It's usually a little chilly, but we usually have a couple of nice days in there. I'm thinking that Death Valley is going to be, I'm hoping, in the 70s. I mean, that would be perfect. The nights may be a little cold, but I think it's going to be very, very pleasant. So, yeah, it'll, if we have a little snow, we've been there in the snow in February. So,
it's still not that cold.
It's still not that cold.
Nice.
It'll be beautiful.
It'll be beautiful. It'll be perfect.
Beautiful.
It'll be the greatest moment you've had in your life.
That's right.
Only second to the Colorado trip.
Bucket list items.
That's the one that bugs me. That's one I don't think I'll be able to do because of this. It's just too close because of the injury.
Right.
Like I really wanted to do Colorado, and I have family out in Colorado.
Well, you know some people live there. We'll take you out.
Yeah. All right. I'll have to come out and just visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Modern Jeepers, another great episode of the Modern Jeeper Show. Corey, Jessy, anything else you want to add before we sign off this episode?
No, just a huge shout out to Milestar this week, and kudos to them. Thank you, West Virginia. And come out and see us at Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, please.
Nice.
We're gonna have a good time.
Absolutely. So you go out there, get your CTI on, see them out there at Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. It is truly a Jeep invasion. So get out there,
Yes.
spend the day. It is going to be, from everything I've ever seen, it's just incredible. Say hi to John, pass messages to me. It's totally fine. All right, Modern Jeepers, for all of you out there, you know how to get a hold of us. Matson at MetalCloak.com, Corey at MetalCloak.com, Jesse at MetalCloak.com. You can reach us at ModernJeeperAdventures.com, ModernJeeperForum.com, ModernJeeper.com, and of course, me at MetalCloak.com. Well,
have a good week.
You too. We'll see you on the trails.
Cheers.
See ya.